It is the Mastersafe special. It's also the masterclass. This is just pure mastery and genius at work. So as always, part 2, we take it up a notch. So we're going into a little bit of soul funk to kick off with in part 2 after the messages. We're also going into the classic hip-hop sound. We've also got, as you would expect, a little bit of rave and a little bit of breakbeat as well to finish. It's going to be absolutely wonderful, and it's deadly, especially for you, Glenn Henshaw in Devon, my beautiful Devon cream tea. Join us after these messages. Hear the stories that are coming out here. Absolutely brilliant. You're back with the second hour of the show. It is the Decades of Dance, the Masterclass, part of Triple Threat Fridays. Triple Threat Part 1 with me, Joey BSide. Special Sound System, aka Name We Trust. Here till the hours of 8 o'clock, which is just going to fly by. It's nowhere near going to be enough. I know there's going to be a part 2, etc., etc., but, oh, God. To all the show managers, give me a 3-hour show. Okay, that's all I can say. The wonderful sounds of Twilight Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Tell these what you just told me.
I'll just
God, so funny.
I can't remember the exact year, but it was 80s, obviously, and everybody in town. We had ghetto blasters with the thing. Everybody had the big ghetto blaster, portable cassette deck, and everyone was pumping this out. And I went out and bought. I was about 14, I think. And I went out and bought this huge ghetto blaster, skinny little thing. I couldn't carry the thing around; it was too heavy. So we used to have to take turns carrying it around. Dressed in tracksuits. I knew some of the Crusaders crew, Paul Purtle and a few friends. And, you start to expand your social horizons with the music, the hip hop, get to know other people and that. So, I was wandering around town, a couple of the Crusader crew and that, and everybody got vinyl out. This was being played constantly, and I had to find out what it was. And obviously, it's Twilight Maze, but there's nothing sounds like this. I've never heard anything sound like it. Beautiful record, and now shut up.
I had an uncle that used to. So in my family, I had an uncle that was quite younger than my mum, and he went out. Did a lot of pubs and clubs, and he used to give me the odd tape sort of thing, and that's how I came across sort of this type of music sort of when it came out in the 80s. So it was kind of like always been new and exciting to me, but I totally forgot about this until it appeared on Grand Theft Auto.
Yes, that's right. Is it really on there?
Yeah, it's on one of the early ones. So I think it's San Andreas or one of the very early ones. It might even be like I don't think it's Vice City. It might even be number 3, but I think it's San Andreas, because I remember playing it when I lived in Allington Drive. So that is sort of early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
sort of thing. But it came back on, and all these, when they did all these sort of like radio station kind of things, and you play it and you think, oh my God, it's this again, it's this again.
Yeah,
It's just
it's
absolutely
brilliant.
fabulous.
It's a fantastic tune.
Fabulous. So we're into the sort of the funk soul sound sort of thing. This next one, my missus will absolutely love you for this, because this is one of her favourites sort of thing.
Really? Oh,
It
cool.
is the sounds of Gwen McCrae.
Oh, just say no more.
It's your mother, it says on the Facebook. Hello, mother. Happy Friday, LCI. It's your mother. How dare you? That sort of thing. Hello, Mum. Got someone famous next to me this week, mother. Knows his stuff as well. Massive shout out to the legend that is Joey BSide. I use the word legend. I shouldn't do that because I'm in the company of an actual legend, a proper legend this week. So absolute quallo, Joey. Early Xmas treat. Put me down for a full house, please, brother, says the Jody Bingham, part of the LE2s. And there he is. I wondered when you'd be there, my man. Let's just unhide that. I don't know why, because it hides things that are deemed as a little bit rude. But that's not rude at all. He says, yes, rude boys, best smash it. And indeed we are. Hello, DJ Cuts, the main man, Mikey Whittle. How you doing, brother? Not seen you on the school one for a while. I don't know why that is. Seen him the other week, actually, trundling round, so it's quite funny, actually.
Yes, Michael, I presume you're coming to the next scratch night, the 22nd at my yard. Bless you.
He was walking around the lakes with the kids doing on the bikes, and his wonderful missus was running. And when I seen him again in about 40 minutes, it looked like it had all gone wrong.
she was on the bike, and he was...
Absolutely fantastic. Big up yourself, Cuts. Absolute legend in the
man.
place. Next week, mate. Yes, of course, he says. So that
excellent.
is an absolute gimme. Wonderful. Hello to who else we got? Hello to Sophie as well, locked in. Hi, Sophie. Hope you're well. Right, let's go into the nitty-gritty now. So we haven't talked a lot about the nitty-gritty, which is great because it's going to be a part 2 and a part 3. But so we talked about the turntablism and how turntable sort of have started to evolve within the York household as such. So we are getting into the hip hop side of things.
That's right. Yes.
So at what point, when you started to ultimately cause havoc with 2 turntables? Well, no, I actually, let's strip it back. So, at what point, when you had your 2 turntables, did you start to realise that, hang on, I can actually do something here?
Yeah, it was, well, I had the wooden decks, as I said earlier, which they had no pitch control on, so I was trying to find records that were of a similar speed and would hack and chop them in. So it was all a developing, series of, developing your skills and realising that, hang on, I need some proper turntables, these aren't doing it. So, the next step was, I thought, I'll just get some Technics turntables, because I thought, well, I can, I was hearing other scratch records and trying to emulate those and copy them, and hearing people's cassettes and hearing the mixing, and that's fantastic, that wasn't so good. And then I just started to think, I could do this, I can have a go at this. And listening to hip hop, because as a child and still now, listening to records, a lot of records that I'd hear on the radio, parents were playing, etc., etc. Most of them, they weren't to my liking, but there'd be one particular bit in the record, the break or whatever, that bit, that hook, and that's what I love about hip hop. Listening to the breaks being put together, and then finding out what the songs were as well, which made you even more hungry to go out and get the vinyl. Because at first I didn't know where these breaks came. I didn't know what records they were coming from. So that was the whole thing was a learning process, and I just I started to practice obviously a hell of a lot, stupidly a hell of a lot. I couldn't get off the things, which I still can't now. The minute I get a chance, it's like Tourette's. I can't get off the damn things, and I love it. And I just suddenly realised, I thought, hang on, I could do this. I could have a go at this. But I never intended to do it publicly or anything. I just thought I was going to do it in my bedroom, between me and between several friends of ours at the time. We were all into hip-hop and house and that sort of thing at the time. So
at what point did this sort of evolve? At what point did it go from sort of in the bedroom with all your friends,
that would have been,
etc., to sort of actually getting out there and doing something out live?
Yeah, well, I did some house parties. You start turning up at people's house parties with a little bag of records and things, because people have asked you, because your little tapes are going, the little mixtapes are going round. And then it was really when I actually worked in, well, gosh, and this was the birth of rave music was coming out, and I was getting into that. That's when the tapes really went mad, and people started to play sort of a lot more for, private parties and little bars and clubs, and as the rave scene got bigger, etc., etc., the story. But initially it was in my bedroom, people would come round, make some tapes, or you go to somebody's house in Birstall, take your decks along, or you take your mixtape along with your ghetto blaster, and that's how it was, really. But I just started putting these tapes together, mostly for my own entertainment, and I could, to see if I could hear the logical progression of my own mixing as well. And people just saying, I'd have them on at home, and friends would come round, or in Wellgosh at the time, and I'd be playing the music for myself while I was in the shop all day, serving customers, and people go, what's this song, or what's this? And I say, it's just a tape I've mixed together, quite casually, not thinking much of it. And people say, I'll give you a £5 for it, I'll give you a £10 for it, can I have a copy of it?
Wow.
Which was great, and I was flabbergasted like you. I was like, really? Yeah, well, I want that rave tune. And then they come back a day or two or a week later, and these people were from Bedford, London. I mean, loads of people came to Wellgosh and Silver Arcade. It was a fantastic place for the music and everything. So the word would get around, quite without me realising, and then strangers would come up to you and go, "Are you Adam?" Because I was DJ Yorkie at first. There was no Mastersafe. That came later on. So
we'll talk about that.
Yes.
Maybe today, maybe another day.
And they all wanted the tapes, so which was lovely. But then I was sat at home. I'd make one copy and then be sat at home in real time, recording like another 20 of these. It was very time consuming. Till he got the 2 tape decks. Oh, then you're in heaven. Yeah. So that's basically it, more or less, in a nutshell. Yeah.
Hi, Gaz Telby. Hello, Charlie. Hello, my mate. I hope you've got a great Christmas lined up, buddy. I'll hopefully see you by then. Hello to the wonderful Elkie as well. How you doing? Blimey, Elkie, how you doing? Not seen you in ages. Hope you're well. Hope life's treating you good, which I believe it is. Right, into some serious classic hip-hop now. 4 tunes coming up. It's kicking off with this one. Everyone knows who this is, but this is just legendary. The sounds of Planet Rock.
Oh, yes. Well, when you hear this, you know, everyone says Rocket, so which you did for Scratching. We all saw the Rocket video, but I just, when you heard Planet Rocket, for me, when I first heard this, it was so powerful. And my friend had rang me up. I think we got back from work or after school, I think, or part-time work at that time. And a friend at Channel 4 had just evolved, I think. And it was on Channel 4 about tea time, about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And it was African Bombatoon, the Soul Sonic Force and Planet Rock, and it was so, you know, our party people, yeah, it's so powerful. I was like, what the hell is this song? I've got to have it.
There you go, there's a comment for you, Reverend David Kern. I know he likes it because I think he appeared in one of these, or one, to be honest with you. He says, Mr. Chiesas, Monday nights, the Style 2 crew versus the Skywalkers.
That's right, Mr. Kaisers, yes, remember that very well. Saw Grandmaster Melly Mel there doing the message.
Really?
Yeah, and it was that DJ, Steve Wright, he was on there, and Grandmaster Melly Mel, and there was a massive fight, and there was a little Chinese doorman, bless him, and he was chopping people left, right, and centre with the martial arts. I'll never forget it. And we were trying to watch Grandmaster Melly Mel, and it all kicked off. Huge place.
I wonder if it was part of the famous Wongs.
It could well have been, yeah.
Wongs,
Well, he was doing very well until about 10 of them jumped on him, bless. But yeah, fantastic. Melly Mel's brilliant, and Mr. Kaiser's huge place, really good place. They play all this sort of stuff. Play all this.
Awesome.
Time to chase your dream. About to see you make your body sway. Socialize. Get down. Let your soul lead the way. Shake it now. Go, ladies. It's a living dream. Love like live. Everybody say rock it, don't
faded as he operates. Cause party energy is what he generates. He'll prescribe for you his potent elixir. 2 turntable speakers and a mixer. He'll rock your party wherever you be. Calling Dr. Dre to surgery. Mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. Come here, freak. Losa MC. Dr. Dre operates in surgery. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, 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 Dre. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre, 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 Dre. Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre, Dr. Boom, 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 boom.
All in all, we get the ratings overall. Yo, you're in tune to the #1 station in the nation. You see it? Leicester Community Radio. And this is Dr. X from out of London City. I say, take it to them.
Hello to the wonderful Alcina fanfare locked in from Brooklyn, New York, indeed. I think that is West Coast, isn't it? World Class Wrecking Crew.
Yes.
Before that, we have Planet Rock, African Bambata, mixed into Surgery by the World Class Wrecking Crew, indeed. So East Coast, a little bit West Coast as well. And stop it, he says Glenn Henshaw. No, you stop it, my sweet. You stop it, indeed. Absolutely phenomenal. So we're getting into the hip hop sound and the cut-ups, the cut and paste, personified by this next two. This is just simply ridiculous. The next two are ridiculous.
Yes,
so
yeah.
The first one is Double D and Steinsky, lesson 3.
Again, you heard this. I actually thought it was a DJ doing it at first, and this teaches you a lot how to play music, this song. But then they did actually recreate this. Shadow and Cut Chemist and Steinsky. They recreated this live just to prove it could be done. But yeah, this is how you should play hip hop. This is how you should play breaks and things. It's fantastic.
D-Crime, you're going to be loving this. I know you are. You're coming on in about 33 minutes' time. You've sent a message. That means you're on your way in. Look forward to seeing you, brother. It's going to be heavy. Well, heavy. But before this, Double D and Steinsky, lesson 3.
We're going to do a song that you never heard before.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
Lesson 3.
Got to have soul. Got to have soul. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance to the drummer's beat. Let's dance. Let's dance to the drummer's beat. Let's dance. Let's dance 'cause it sounds so sweet. Let's dance. Let's dance.
The message is Mars needs women.
We interrupt this record to bring you a special bulletin. The reports of a flying saucer hovering over the city have been confirmed.
One time, huh?
Hip hop.
Hip hop. Hip hop.
so sweet. Let's dance.
I know a dark, secluded place, a place where no one knows your face. A glass of wine, a fast embrace. It's called Hernando's Hideaway. Ole.
Here's Johnny.
Part of this song you got to watch, ladies and gentlemen.
You don't have to say anything and you don't have to do anything. Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and...
Messages are plenty, I can't keep up with them. Hello to Mark Mason locked in. Have it, he says. Have it indeed, we certainly will be. Hello to the legend that he's... oh, yeah, again, apologise, legend. I'm diluting that so much. But Dion Jason Hughes, a.k.a. DJ Dingers. How you doing, man? Great Christmas to you. Thanks for the gifts on Messenger as well. I should be downloading those later. If you don't know already, you're in tune to the Decades of Dance and the Masterclass and Triple Threat Fridays all in one this week. With my very special guest, Adam York, aka DJ Mastersafe. I do need to speed things along actually, because, and I knew it would do, we're running out of time because we're gassing too much. But it's all good.
Hey, children, what does it all mean? You say, one for the trouble, two for the time. Come on, girls, let's rock that.
5 on the everybody side. DJ spinning, I said, my, flash is back, flash is fast, flash is cool, Francois, c'est pas, flash ain't no do.
You say one for the trouble, two for the time. Come on, girls, let's rock that.
I'm going to talk over this, to be honest with you, because I don't want to be honest with you, but I'm just conscious of the time and I've got loads that I want to throw in. Hello to Paul Lewis locked in. Big up to you, my brother, the other half of Classic Groove. Legends indeed, all over the hockey on this Friday night. So, we are getting into, we're into sort of the fact that we're starting to do mixtapes. We're also working in Welgus. I just want to say thank you for selling me a pair of Stussy trans trousers that
you're very welcome,
purchased
very welcome.
In 1990, I think it was.
Think about
absolutely
right, yes.
Brilliant they were as well. They were tartan. They were absolutely phenomenal.
I remember the trouser.
Oh, they were great. They were so good. It cost me a week's wages. And I tell you what, I loved them. Absolutely loved them.
Good on you.
And they lasted for ages as well. Absolutely brilliant. Proper gear, you see.
Yes.
All the stuff you used to like buy in Gosh was all proper.
Well, I remember the Jongle Brothers and how they used to look with the hunting jacket thing, the fishing. Like, they had those in, and I thought, genius, I'm going to have one of these. Of course, everybody took the Michael out for ages. And then the Jongle Brothers came in the charts, and then everyone was at Gosh, can I have one of them jackets?
Oh, dear.
Used to have quite a bit of that.
Right, so we're into the Acid House era, so we'll stick some Acid House on. We'll kick in with the Acid House on after this. We've got a little bit of ambient to start off. I think, yeah, we will do. We've got some ambient before we go into the Chicago, that kind of thing. So, we're talking about the inception now, from going from bedroom DJ into someone that makes tapes, someone that's starting to get a little bit of notice, to talk about paid gigs.
Yes.
Moving into the rave scene.
Yes,
slowly.
still kind of came about by accident, to be honest, really. Like I said, people were, interested in the mixtapes I was doing, which were a mix of sort of the old school hip-hop, backed by Dope Demand, Sugar Bear, and then infused with the new ravey stuff that's coming out. So I tried to put the two together, because you can hear the samples, because the rave scene, British rave scene, with the breakbeats coming in.
Yeah.
Initially we had songs from Europe, America, whatever, that were quite housey orientated before, and then we were obviously putting the breakbeats in, so there was more scope to play with. People were buying the tapes, and then I was starting to get asked to do people's house parties, and then some bars and clubs, and it just seemed to escalate. Then it went quite quickly from sort of nothing to quite a lot, all in the space of a year or so.
And was that just purely because the scene at the time? I
think the scene was moving really quickly, wasn't it?
So.
If you remember, everywhere in town had some sort of. all the normal bars weren't full anymore. And they'd got some sort of, Chris Popple was in there, MJP. There was a lot of there was DJ Manic. There was loads of, we were, SS as well. We were all doing pub things and club things as well, as the scene was building. So, because a lot of people were quite naive, but they knew that if you got a rave DJ and then you were playing this sort of music, it would pack the place out because it was a popular thing at the time. So, and that's where, obviously, I was starting to get more plays from this. So then I think Leroy and Idris, they did a thing at the Palais de Dance, and I did a hip-hop thing. I remember Derek being in the room, and it was the atmosphere, not Derek's atmosphere, but the atmosphere of the hip-hop room was it was all coats and lean up and atmosphere and staring. I thought, I went to the rave room, which I wasn't too keen on at first because it was a bit Euro-y, housey, and I'd already done the acid scene, and early on when it came out with, in the early 80s with the Chicago House, the House All Days at Rock City, which Paul and Derek will remember, and OJ and everybody else, which was fantastic. So it had moved on. So the house scene at the time wasn't really doing it for me. So, when the breakbeats came in with the British scene, putting the stuff in, it was great. It was fantastic. It got more energy to it again, rather than that straight 4x4 kick.
Yeah.
So it just escalated. It just went really quickly. All of a sudden, can you play at my party? Yes, no worries. Next thing you know, a week later, can you play at my party? I was at that party last week. I heard you. That was lovely. I've got your mixtape. Can you do it live? Yes, I can recreate that mix. And it just went. It was lovely. It was frightening because I was very nervous because I never intended to DJ publicly at all. Never. It was never for public consumption. It was just because I enjoyed doing it for myself, and mostly for myself and my friends. A little group of us that used to go everywhere and see bands and stuff. And it just, like I say, so very nervous. I was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. It went on from there.
So were you aware of when sort of, we call it acid house on this show, but obviously acid house encompasses so much, to be honest with you, and it's a very loose term, to be fair. Oh, hello, OJ is in. I pointed at the screen. You are next.
Hello, OJ.
Okay,
God bless you.
Okay, you're next. Legend Series, Part 4, you're next. Okay, we've already spoke to it, OJ. I just need to confirm a date, but he knows he's next.
Good man. Good.
Top.
Super chap.
Love him.
Super chap.
And Legend, really, really, really great. He made a few phone calls to me in the summer. I tell you what, I took loads of advice from him. Brilliant. He didn't need to ring up.
No, he did the same for me. He's a lovely gentleman, bless him. He's a lovely chap.
Big up yourself, OJ. At what point did you kind of realise, with the sort of the acid house movement, you think, ooh, because obviously it's the biggest social movement since the 60s.
Well, I like house music, don't get me wrong. I've got a lot of house stuff, saving that for the next time, really, because that and the ravey stuff, I've kind of left a bit of that out because it's a bigger spectrum for me, But yeah, I love the house scene, hence the song that's coming up in a bit, Nitro Deluxe. I love the house scene, really did. I love everything. I love the hip hop. I love the house. It's hard, and that's why I like being a hip hop style DJ. It taught you to sort of incorporate and try and use all these things. Because sometimes you get bored of just playing one style of music. You want to entertain people with all different genres. You know what I mean? And it's putting that all together, which was for me the challenge. And that's what I then set about doing, is trying to be really good at my mixing.
When you have someone that's so technically very good as yourself...
Well, it took me a while, long time, a lot of practice to get technically...
But there was, I remember, albeit, so when I first started going out, I mean, admittedly, I didn't start going out till 1990 because I was younger.
Yeah.
So I used to go out in the late 80s, but I couldn't go into the older events because they were the sort of... so you mentioned that everywhere in town had some form of rave thing.
Yes, most places.
I used to go to... So I started out going to the sort of 13 to 16s nights at the studio, which is the Palais de Danse.
Yeah, yeah.
But then in 88... And I know what record did it. It was Stack of Humanoids.
Yes.
That came out, and then all of a sudden, it went from sort of Stock Aitken and Waterman typey things, which was, I mean, my missus is listening. She's not going to like this next bit. But it was like, okay, I was young back then, and it went from going in town to like meeting girls from other schools, and stuff like that, to like raving.
Yeah.
And when Stack of Humanoid came on, all of a sudden the events the week after took a big rave turn. And I noticed that the DJ started to change a little bit as well. And then all of a sudden it exploded.
That's right.
I started getting into, I was listening to a lot of pirate radio at the time.
Yeah,
I started to get my hands on Chicago House and stuff, and it all changed. As a DJ, when you're as technically sort of minded as yourself, and I started to go to raves, and I listen back to a lot of the sets now, and you can sort of say it was the rawness of the energy and the rawness of the scene. Mm-hmm. You could also put it down to the fact that so many people were out of it that they didn't really care. But when it come to your sets, they were technically on point.
I had to make, I wanted to, because there were a lot of, no disrespect, I'm not trying to say I'm better than anybody else. It's not about that. For me, it's my expression of how I feel and hear. I think music should be heard. This is what, if I was on the other side of the decks, how would I want to hear the music? And that's where I come. That's how I do it, because I used to be on the other side of the decks, and I used to love listening to DJs, and then you get one come on, and they'd be, no disrespect, they wouldn't be perhaps as good as the DJ before, and it'd be a bit disappointing because they'd lose the atmosphere of the crowd, you see.
See, I used to be very, I was a bit, my old man was into Motown and Northern Soul, and he was a soul boy, he was a mod, so he was, so how can I put it? So, obviously, back then, you used to have sort of one turntable and a little bit of talking, but it was, if you lost that vibe and you lost that edge to the night back in the Northern Soul nights, it was gone.
For me, it's the same thing.
And
I learned very quickly, you could go to one place when you started going to different towns and different cities. Yeah. What worked in Leicester might not work up north in Newcastle or Stoke, and what worked in Northampton or Bedfordshire or near London wouldn't work. You know, you suddenly twigged that very quickly. You couldn't play that set there and then do the same set 100 miles away. You couldn't do it. You had to completely change your set, because it was a total. And you had to be very quick to adapt, and that's what I started to. You start to realise that, and you start to think, well, hang on, I've got to get out of this sharpish. I'd have something on for count to 8, it'd be off quickly because I knew it wouldn't work.
Yeah, okay.
But that's another thing, as a learning curve. You started to learn that, because at first you're just playing to local people in Leicester who are all loving what you're doing. Oh, it's great, it's fantastic, kudos, hooray! But then you go out somewhere else, you drop a tune, they're all staring at you like, what's that? I mean, like, what's my code? I had that 18 months on a white label, didn't even know who'd done it. I was rinsing it, playing it to death, played it to everyone in Leicester. They were like, I was like, I've been waiting for this all my life. This is what's been going on in my head all my life, this in beatboxing. And Ray Keith put it on vinyl, bless him. And it didn't work for a whole year and a half. It didn't really work, because we were still into that ravey sort of thing. The drum and bass kind of jungly area was just starting to creep in. But that is, for me, the epitome of drum and bass. That's the thing I was after, that rhythm, that powerful rhythm section.
One of the very interesting things is just looking through the timeline of the tracks, and the tracks that we don't get to play tonight, we'll play them again, by all means. We'll play them on the next show, because there are one or two and we've had to push time on. But it's very, very amusing, little bit, because you get to Moments of Love, which is 1985, and then you go to Nitro Deluxe, which is 87, and then there's a little bit of a gap of the 1990s, and I just wonder if that sort of corresponds with your lost years when you went travelling with Chip.
It does a bit. Well, back to the acid scene, because in 88, me and Chippy had gone Corfu. We'd done a couple of dry runs before that, not very far, 2 or 3 weeks here and there. And then we just said, right, pack of jobs in, let's go. We'll just do it. Right, forget everything. We're fed up with the 9 to 5 rubbish. So we went. And in Corfu, they've got some London DJs there. And I ended up DJing there purely by chance. I ended up DJing at Rocky's. I was his resident DJ. And all I had was tape decks. So I was playing Lulu and mixing, using tape decks. And then we noticed in the clubs that suddenly this because we'd already had the acid scenes, kind of, in the early 80s with the Chicago stuff. It was underground. It wasn't commercialised. Yeah. And then it had come round again. And obviously it was suddenly hit London. And all the these Londoners had come out with this London DJ who was working there, forgetting his name, nice gentleman, and he bought all this acid, this fresh acid, this new acid music. It had revitalised with the house music as well, and that was it acid. That was huge abroad, and because before I left, it was still all nighters. There was Rock City, there was still all dayers. There was still all dayers, and there were some all nighters. But when I got back, it was all nighters. It was predominantly white people. I was like, where's all the mixed crowd? What's going on? Not being rude at first, it was me, OJ, and several others, with only white guys there. And it had gone the other way, it had gone totally the other way. So it's very confusing. When I got back, we were looking at each other going, what's going on? The scene's totally changed.
Well, this is why when we did the old Tight Raver Q&A, and we sort of, when it was discussed about, it's obviously a very white crowd, and we discussed that it's vitally important within that
that's an issue, is it?
No, but it's vitally important within that documentary that, because SS was invited, he didn't want to take part, but it's vitally important that certainly what I did, we link it back to the arrival of Windrush and the sound systems locally in Leicester, and how they sort of then influenced eventually the lineage and went on to the rave scene and stuff. So I agree with you. I agree with you massively. Who were your DJs of choice? So when playing out at these kind of events, obviously you're exposed to a lot, sort of thing, and I listen to a lot of the tapes back and now. To be honest with you, there's a few of them which are unlistenable. There's some which are listenable from a nostalgic point of view. But there's some which are kind of like, I don't think I can listen to that now because technically it's hurting my ears.
I agree. I was very picky. Very picky.
There is a very famous, and funny enough, it's the person I mentioned to you before. It's I think it's an Amnesia house. I can't remember. It might be a Kinetic actually, but it's a mixtape which the selection of the records is great, but the mixing's absolutely frightening. Frightening beyond words. So. Who were your DJs of sort of choice back in the
first? Because they weren't. This is where I started to think, I could do this. I'm not being. I could perhaps do it a bit better than certain DJs because they weren't putting any effort into it. They just mix and blend, and they were. They were clashing a bit here and there, and and in some cases you just think, well, you've got a monitor, you've got headphones, you've just been lazy. You shouldn't. This is not. People have paid money, they paid 20 quid a ticket here. Do you know what I mean? This is not. So for me, I wanted a bit more of not. I don't know what you call it, but more. I wanted it just for me. I just wanted it to be more tight, and for me, you're enjoying it on the dance floor, and if a DJ messes it up, it just totally ruins your mood, especially when you're probably in maybe on chemicals or not. Either way, it's going to ruin your mood. But and it would ruin the atmosphere, I think. But when you've got somebody that's everything's on point, it's all being dropped properly, and you can see the faces. I've been there in front of people and watch them when you drop a mix. And I know it's ridiculous to treat you like a god or whatever, but bless them. They're in such a state of euphoria. You know what I mean? You can see the little faces, like especially Milwaukee's, because you had your turntables, and you had the crowd. They were there right in front of your face.
I remember.
It was right in front. You couldn't get away, and if you messed up or did anything, they knew about it straight away. But for me, Carl Cox. If you're talking about technical mixes, Carl Cox. Technical mixer. Didn't like a lot of the stuff he played. Not my cup of tea. It's very housey, but bless him, super chap and tight, absolutely tight. Tight as. Do you know, he's the first person. I turned around one day and I met him early on, bless at Milwaukee's. And my friend walked through his headphones because there was a bench behind them and snapped his headphones, and he was doing the last hour, and it's 5 in the morning, and I was just about to leave, and he turned to me and he went, Adam, can I borrow your headphones? And I went, yeah, of course. And we had a drink and a smoke, bless him, and he's a lovely guy, and he did his deed. And I looked round his record box while he was picking things out, and he'd scribbled numbers on all the covers. So I'd look round, and if you watched Carl Cox, ever watched him? Now, I'm talking, this is like 1990, right? And he's so quick, and I was like, I suddenly twigged. He knew the BPMs of every record. So I pulled that from Carl Cox, and I then went home, got a BPMer, and I BPM'd absolutely every single record I had. So I could turn around wanting to be quicker in the mix, and within seconds, right, that's on +8. I knew within a split second whether I could mix it or not. In my head, I knew where I had to go, and it just as another. Excuse me.
That's why it happens.
Sorry about that. It's another string to your bow. Do you know what I mean? It helped me again to be able to be even quicker in the mix and be more accurate and so on and so. Because I could group records in my record boxes. They'd start from 90 BPMs a minute and go to 120, and the next box would go from 120 to 160 or 150 or whatever it is. So I knew instantly where I could go within the mix. Do you see what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Leicester Community Radio, we're here with a gentleman that knows Carl Cox on first name terms with Carl Cox and talking to Carl
Not these days, bless him.
I bet he would be, though. Bet he would be.
He's a super chap, yeah.
Absolutely,
he's very-
a superstar. But I bet he would be.
I bet he would be as well, yeah. So Carl Cox, for example, I mean, that's why I was very picky. I mean, my favourite DJs, the old DJs, originally Grandmaster Flash and all these sorts of things, and then you've got Qbert and all the, the real technical guys. So, but
God, you just say about Milwaukee's. I mean, I remember Milwaukee's going there. You think, oh my God, Milwaukee's.
Oh, yeah.
But I've seen photos of it as a shell, and it looks awful.
Oh, it looks terrible.
Disgusting. You know, and you think, oh my God, how do I use this? Like, £12 a ticket to get
we
in
were
there.
looking at it the other day, and it's totally run down. I don't know if they've knocked it down,
I've seen
but
a thing of this,
my brother was looking at the interior of it, and it's still there, and it's all run down inside, but the building itself is still there.
Wow.
And remember, there was a garage. I mean, it was the epitome of rave. It was a club in the middle of nowhere with a garage opposite and a queue for a Rizzler a mile long. It was amazing.
A lot of you will want some rave and stuff, and as I said, we're going to do a bit more rave on the next show. But see, Carl Cox stood on my foot twice. Granby Hall's my claim to fame. Blessing the Reverend David, that must hurt. Some of you are after some rave, but we'll give you a little bit now. Kicking off with this staple: Two Bad Mice, Bomb Scare. Massive shout to the main man, King Kenny Womesley, locked in. How are you, KK? Rave General. D-Crime coming on with T-minus 8 minutes. I know he's going to be in the vicinity somewhere. Massive shout to him, my brother. It is very clever tune, isn't it? On Moving Shadow, I think, this one as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Banging tune, this.
So, I mean, for someone that's like, likes the Chicago time, someone that likes like the jazz and the Chicago and stuff, this kind of thing. So, obviously, you get a ravey transition from the house side of things into a more breakbeat sound. So, is that more exciting for you?
Oh, definitely. These tracks, for me, they're full of energy. I love all sorts of music. Yes. Sorry, 1 second. D-Crime in the house. God bless you, sir.
Fresh FM reunion.
You're looking very well indeed.
You're looking very great.
Amazing. It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. He's ever long.
Oh, I've just stormed the studio. There's a master in the studio, man. What's going on?
Drenches himself in cocoa butter on a daily basis, trust me. We're just chewing the fat. We've got people bare chewing the fat here. We've got me mixing up a scream and, do you know what, from a personal basis, so, as Paul Lewis said, good mixing. Now Mastersafe just said good mixing. Oh, it's so great. OJ's on fire here. Let me hear you scream. He's going nuts. Fresh FM reunion, D-Crime and Mastersafe in the house. Lenny the Ice, Real to Real, Eric Murillo. We are IE. Before that, Two Bad Mice and Bomb Scare. Oh, God. As we come to the end of the show ridiculously as well. Bummer.
That's a shame. An absolute shame.
Quite frankly, it's an absolute bummer,
we've
to be honest.
still got far too many tunes to get
far
through.
too many tunes. So we're going to keep all of these for the next time, plus a lot more. So we'll keep talking, actually, while we play out with Lenny the Ice. One of the very good things, well, to be honest with you, it was just one of these, like, oh, God. When I spoke to my contact, who put me in touch with himself. He said, he would like to do it, and he also wants to get out playing, which is an absolute bonus for people like me that sort of need to see these cultural icons. I know you don't like this kind of thing, but cultural icons back on the decks. Next year, you've got a few gigs planned, and they're I nearly said bloody then. Anyway, but they're big gigs. So we've got, I need to say hello to Katie and the Dance for Dementia crew. You're appearing on one of their gigs.
Yes, 3rd of February at the OMC.
And we've just spoken here about the White Room reunion.
Yes, looking forward to both these.
That won't be clean.
That's going to be that's going to be messy. I'm looking forward to that.
That won't end well.
That's a lot of 50-year-olds getting very drunk. To some very good music, thankfully.
Absolutely, but that lineup is in Who's Who. I can't wait to see.
Good lineup.
I can't wait to see Wayne T. Barron again.
Yes, big up Wayne. Oh my goodness.
And everything.
Jeff,
Fraser and OJ.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
It's a cracking lineup. I'm looking forward to that.
It's fantastic. So we've only got a minute or so left. So what does the future hold for Mastersafe? What are you up to at the moment?
At the minute, I've got a scratch night going whenever I can with the guys. We did do it every fortnight, but basically a group of like-minded friends bring their turntables to my house. We link everything together and we just have a scratch frenzy and battle for hours on end.
Wow.
And thoroughly enjoy it. And we had several people come and go. So it's just a room. I can get about 6 people in because now it's the word's getting out. A lot of people want to come and join in, which is great. But it's just I have to rotate DJs. I'm getting to that point now.
I know you probably don't like doing this, but you desperately need to put those online.
Well, the last one was filmed bits of it. Keith, bless him, and the whole tight gang, one of them. And big up Keith, big up Kev, and of course Cuts, and the rest of the whole tight crew, and Rory and Laura. And it's basically I'd like to evolve that. I want to get that on YouTube eventually.
Yeah, definitely.
And have that as a regular thing and have guests on. It's just a bit of fun. But also with that, I'd like to do a mix online sort of thing, as well.
Yep.
And then I get out and do some more gigs. But I've got a few ideas actually, where we could, including the Leicester lot, where we can perhaps showcase some of our skills and tunes and stuff in the near future, God willing.
We look forward to that very much. It just leaves me to say thank you for everyone for all your comments and interaction. Thanks to everyone that's locked in this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. This has been in the making. It's a dream come true. Adam, I wish you a happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and I look forward to seeing you again very soon.
Bless you.
Thank you
too,
very
Joey.
much.
No, thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for having me. And thank you to all the listeners as well, and for everyone that's